So you shot your brand new traditional muzzleloader for the first time, had fun, got home, your rifle is filthy. It's time to clean it. What do? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, Bob McBride, Black Powder TV. Today we're going to do another video in our new shooter series. This one about how to clean your black powder muzzleloader. There's as many different ways to clean it as there are people who shoot muzzleloader. So there's a few basic rules. First is black powder residue corrodes metal. Water neutralizes black powder residue. Water rusts metal. Oil inhibits rust. People use all kinds of different things. Murphy's oil soap, ammonia-free glass cleaner, simple green, ballistol. That's what I use, and I'll go over that a little bit. The best thing to neutralize black powder residue is water. Putting water on your gun sounds like a bad idea, but you need to get that black powder residue neutralized, and you need to get it neutralized fast. So we're gonna jump right in, and I'll show you what I do. So this is the Mike Brooks 58 cal, English style, short coach gun. Poor boy, no butt plate, and I've shot this one today. So what we're gonna do first is go ahead and take off the lock. So I'll show you how I do that. And this is a unique gun that Mike Brooks made. It doesn't have a traditional lock bolt that comes through the other side like most do. This one comes through the lock plate side. So I'll give you a good view of that. Screw is on this side, and we're gonna get that lock out of there. A long screw. Okay, so there's the lock. Lock is out. We'll set that off to the side for a second and get to that in just a minute. So we've got our lock gone, set aside, and we've got a dirty breech area. The residue gets all up on the top of the barrel, all up on the top of the stock, so all that needs to be cleaned off. So the first thing we're gonna do is get a little ballistol. Now I use ballistol in two different concentrations, one fully concentrated and one mixed according to the instructions on the back with water. Let's see. Dissolved black powder residue, 25% ballistol, 75% water. That's what's in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this. I'm gonna spray a patch, and we're gonna go ahead and start wiping this thing down. Ballistol works great on wood and metal, so just get in here and wipe down as best you can all around. Try not to leave any residue, so all the little nooks and crannies, especially around the breech and the touch hole. And then we're gonna clean the muzzle a little bit. Now we're gonna take our toothpick and stick it in the touch hole to seal the touch hole. Shoved in there pretty hard so it'll hold water. And now we're gonna get our barrel. All right, so we're gonna fill the barrel up with room temperature water. Some people use hot, some people like cold. I just get it right out of the tap, kind of warm, and go ahead and fill that barrel up. Helps to hold a towel around it to get anything that wants to overspill. And then we're gonna set this aside in a safe place for just a few minutes. So while that's setting, we will clean the lock. Little moose milk. Moose milk is your ballistol and water mixture. Especially get the pan all cleaned out, all around it, underneath the bottom of the frizzen itself. Anywhere you can reach, you want to get this wiped off. You're not going to get much fouling on the inside of your lock with just one day's shoot, but just go ahead and take it off, take a look in there, make sure you don't have any sneaking in on the bolster area, and give it a wipe down. But every now and then, I usually every fourth, fifth time, I'll take this lock out, take it apart, and clean it. But for just a basic clean, to get it where you can put it up in the closet for a while, get that moose milk and wipe it down and get it as clean as you can. All right, so we're gonna go back to the rifle itself. Barrel's full of water, and we're gonna go ahead and dump this in a bucket so you can pull that toothpick out and it'll come out faster. So I didn't shoot this much today, so it's not gonna be too filthy, but now that we've got the water poured out of the barrel, most of the residue out of there, we're gonna go ahead and get some clean patches soaked in ballistol and moose milk, the ballistol water mixture. Spray a little on your patch. Get your rod, give it a turn at the bottom, and give it a good wipe. Now that's pretty dirty, so we're gonna do as many as it takes to come out clean. Sometimes it takes a lot more than others. Now you're going to get down to 4 or 5 patches, it's going to get pretty clean. You can keep on going. You can run 1,000 patches through it and still get some what looks like residue. It's going to be graphite. All your black powder particles are coated in graphite to stabilize the black powder. They're less susceptible to static electricity, coated in graphite. So you're going to get a lot of graphite in your barrel, and that's going to leach out of the steel. So don't freak out if you can't get that patch to come out perfectly clean, because it's not going to. So we're starting to get a little gray. Most of the residue is gone, and that's looking pretty good. I'm going to hit it one more time. So down it goes. Give it a scrub. Now, this is a range rod that I'm using, metal range rod with a muzzle protector on it, a brass muzzle protector to keep me from wearing out the bore with the steel rod. Give it a scrub. Now we're coming out pretty good. So you see that is just kind of a gray. A couple dry patches. Now with a tight seal, you're blowing air through the flash hole. So that's drying. Keep using these till you're happy that your bore is dry. The patch is coming out completely dry and looking pretty clean. So basically you're using water. I use ballistol, moose milk, ballistol and water mix, but it's basically the water that's doing the job. The ballistol has some oil in it, but see, we're getting pretty clean. I'm happy with that. That's a little bit of graphite and not much else. So you're good to go there. So we're going to get one more dry patch, and this one I'm going to put 100% ballistol. We're going to take our rifle again, and we're going to all up around the lock mortise, top of the barrel. Now I'm going to take that same patch, because there wasn't much left on there, fairly clean, and we're going to go down the barrel with it. Okay, another dry patch to get most of that ballistol out of there, and it's dry inside. Now I'm going to take a dry patch, wipe that ballistol off of here. Any residual water left on there, just going to wipe it down, and we're done. Now the last thing I do is I have bear grease. You can use a lot of different stuff. A lot of people use frog lube. I don't use that, CLP stuff. A lot of people use rig. That stuff's great for greasing your points behind the lock in the mechanism that needs grease. Also, when you take your barrel out, put some rigs underneath there, because you're only going to take your barrel off of your gun once or twice a year, every 5th, 6th, 10th time you shoot. So as long as that's greased under there really well, then you're not going to have a problem with rust. So I take my bear grease with a patch, and this rifle is going to get a complete coat of bear grease. So I'm going to go down the barrel, just like with the ballistol and the water, the wet patches and the dry patches. Put your final coat of some kind of grease or oil, and I like to put the bear grease all over the stock. All right. So now we're going to take our towel, give it a wipe down. Get most of that, doesn't have to be dripping in grease. Set that down. Now we're going to get the lock and do the same thing. Put a little grease on there, a little bear grease, and I'm going to hit inside of the lock. And I'm going to get anywhere and everywhere I can inside, cover it outside, in the pan, on the frizzen. And then you're going to dry that off. Just need a coat, just a thin coat. Make sure you get as much off as you can off of the frizzen. That doesn't need to be greased, it won't spark. So what I'll do a lot of times is get a patch with a little bit of alcohol on it and clean your frizzen, so you don't have any issues with it not firing because the frizzen has oil on it. So our lock is ready to go, cleaned up. It's going to go right back on the gun. You can get our screw. Gonna run that in. Eventually, and just snug. And everything works like it should. And we're ready to go. So she's clean, she's oiled, no black powder residue, gun's ready to hang back up. So real simple, there's 1,000 different things you can throw into the mix, but basically water neutralizes black powder residue, dry the water off and oil it. Simple. Thanks a lot. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, please like, come back and see us. The videos are going to be coming out pretty fast. We had a little gap because of Christmas and I did some other things, but that was only a week or so gap. So I'm going to try to do 2 a week. So please come back. Thanks a lot.